Hey, everybody, welcome back to episode 92 of the Simply One podcast. I'm your host, Colin, and I'm joined by my co-host, Chris.
How we doing, everybody?
We're just a couple of best friends passionate about all things pop culture. If you're looking for lukewarm takes on movies, video games, TV shows, even the occasional comic, we got the show for you.
That's fucking right. It's been a minute since we read a comic.
Yeah?
It's been a minute. We got to touch back
it's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, we got to touch back up on that.
I figure I read 30 Days a Night. Like 5 weeks ago.
What did I read?
All the Kids Are Dead or something.
Oh, yeah. I got to touch back up.
What was that comic called?
All the Kids Are Dead.
Is that what it's called? Mm-hmm. All right. I thought, my brain was like, that doesn't sound right, but it's the idea.
Yeah. Just killing kids.
Yeah, just dead kids.
We're killing strangers.
This week, we did not go see Napoleon.
Fuck that noise.
Fuck all that shit.
Heard it was bad.
Yep, and it didn't look good. I mean, it looked fine. You know what I mean?
I thought it looked pretty good.
It looked fine to me. It didn't look like, yo, my guy.
I mean, one of us, bro. I was over here like fucking gripping the fucking ground with my toes.
Holding on to both sides of the table. Oh.
What's the meme of Rumpelstiltskin from Shrek? His toes bust out of his shoes.
And grab onto the soles.
The caption's always homosexuals when they see a home.
Oh, fuck. Look at that home. I'm so sexual for homes.
God, was that a ranch?
Oh, God. Split level. Oh, fuck.
Finished basement. Choke me.
Yeah. Townhouse. Yeah.
Just fucking the gas pipes.
The air vent where the fucking
You're fucking the washer and dryer hookups.
Yeah. I'll snake your pipes, baby.
Washing it off in the dishwasher.
Ew.
Like slam that shit on its shut.
Anyways.
All that to say.
Yeah, we didn't see Napoleon.
All that to say, we saw Godzilla.
We saw Godzilla Minus One.
Man.
I almost rated the thing right
Dude,
then.
yeah.
Just pass. We went and saw Godzilla Minus One. Maybe we made the right call. Maybe we didn't. Who knows? You'll have to listen until about the 45-minute mark and find out.
We'll still have to see Napoleon.
I mean, I ain't got to do anything but do taxes and die.
It's true. Man, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I could just avoid taxes.
Look at my boy Capone.
Yep. Well, he went to jail for it.
Free my boy.
Yep.
He ain't do nothing wrong.
Free my boy Capone. Throw one up for Capone.
R.I.P. I'll pour one
This
out
one's
for
for you, Albert. Even though his name is almost certainly not Albert.
No, Albert Capone.
It was Al. I know that.
Al Capone. Alcatraz.
Al.
Picture,
If you will. In the news this week, it's basically we're going to take we're on the we're on that fucking train to Trailer Town.
Act one.
What'd you say?
Extra.
I don't know what I thought you said, but I was like, are you having a stroke? Agabagaboo. You good, my man? Oh, but before we talk about all these trailers we got, I do want to bring up Stardew Valley, oddly enough, as well as, it kind of actually is a follow-up on a story we talked about last week when it comes to digital ownership versus physical ownership. So, and then after that, we'll just get into just too many trailers.
Yep. Too many.
First, I'm kind of upset.
A felonious amount.
I'm mad at how many trailers there were. My eye's about to fall out of socket.
It's looking like, dude, bugging. You tweaking? You just look at me, you're missing some of your teeth.
Oh my god.
Come on, I'll suck your dick for slap ass. No Carlos.
Why does your throat just make that noise?
I don't know. I'm revving up like Godzilla.
Anyways, so
I just shit my pants.
So
It's just my stomach.
Yeah. So fucking ConcernedApe, who makes Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
He just posted a cheeky little screenshot on
Cheeky, huh?
Cheeky, yeah, he had his ass out. He's just shaking ass on Twitter.
Might have an, felt cute. Might make an update later.
It's just in a song.
The smallest picture of Stardew Valley in the corner, just double cheeked up in a mirror selfie.
He's double thick.
He's got a thong on.
He's in that outfit that Ice Spice had of Betty Boop with just ass out. That's him.
Just a gimp suit, just with the ass cut out.
So he posted a screenshot. That first of all, this will be for you and me and anybody else that likes Stardew Valley. One of the things coming in the 1.6 update is a big chest, air quotes. It'll have double the storage of a regular chest. Fucking A, first of all. Second of all, I kind of liked, he said, when he posted it, he said, tons of progress on 1.6 last month. It's self-imposed extreme crunch mode right now. Nose to the grindstone, raw nose mode. Here's one of the many additions in 1.6, keeping mostly everything secret. And then somebody, of course, tweet blew up, 130,000 likes and shit. And somebody was like, hey, like, why do you keep doing this shit after, it's a 7-year-old game, Not like judging him, but just being like, man, like, you could do other things. Like,
Yeah.
And he said many things, including that so many people are still playing it and many new people every day. And I want it to be the best it can be. It'll never be perfect, but I feel an urge to keep improving it. Up to this point, it's been my life's work and I care a lot about it.
That's a fair answer.
I respect that. Also, the fucking update is, and like, again, I pointed it out every time this game comes up. He is the only person that's ever worked on Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
He is a team of one. And the 1.6 update is set to bring new festivals, new items, new stories, new secrets, a new farm type, 8-player multiplayer on PC, and over 100 lines of new dialogue, and a fresh batch of late game content. It's like, it's a proper update to, like I said, a 7-year-old game that, like, he has no reason to, he could just take the money and run, and
that's just a love for the craft.
Yeah, right. And all on top of this, he's still working on his next game, The Haunted Chocolatier, which he's compared to, he basically says the Haunted Chocolatier will be the moon to Stardew Valley's sun.
Okay.
Where, like, it's going to be it's a celestial body. It's in the sky, but tonally it's going to be more dark and, like, kind of mystical and gloomy and things like that, whereas Stardew Valley is like the very, this is chipper and,
right.
And I'm like, all right, I'm with that.
I'd be down.
Yeah. And I did I don't think we brought it up before, but he did have an IGN interview where he said that he would only agree to making a Stardew Valley movie if David Lynch agreed to do it, or Studio Ghibli. I was like, I could see Studio Ghibli doing a Stardew Valley game. But I mean, I think both of those are obviously not going to happen, which is part of his joke there. Right. It's like, well, unless Studio Ghibli or David Lynch are knocking on my door, it's not going to happen. But yeah, I just want to bring that up because I think, you know what?
We haven't played Stardew Valley.
Go him. No, we haven't. I'm like, well, shit, maybe after the 1.6 update comes out, we just start over.
Nah, man, we haven't even.
We've got a really big.
We're so deep in ours.
I know. We're like up to the elbow, at least.
Our hips are touching.
Hmm.
I said,
Our nips are touching. No, wait. Our lips are touching.
Wait.
Cut it out. No, so Sony just basically fucked a bunch of people.
Oh, okay.
And so they're pulling all of their Discovery, like their Discovery branded videos that PlayStation users have already bought. And like basically are putting a pop-up that are like, hey, sorry, after December 31st, you just won't be able to access this. And they bought it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's that question we asked last week of like,
which is why I always
you
like to...
don't own the thing, you own a license to access the thing. And then what happens if that license is revoked for some reason?
We fucking call that shit.
Yeah.
Like, all the money.
And like, obviously it's symptomatic of a much larger issue where like, it's not just shows or movies, it's video games.
It can be anything.
It can be anything, yeah. I mean, anything that you can download, books, comics, things like that, anything that is just a digital access.
They can remove as quick as they put them out.
Yeah, you don't own the thing. You own a license to access the thing. And if that license gets revoked, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a really scary thought when most of media is now just digitized. That you're like, oh, shit. And so it did bring a lot of people's attention to it of like, oh, fuck, this is a real problem. And it's legal. And so maybe there should be some regulation on, at least, okay, if you're going to do that, you owe me a refund.
Yeah.
You know, I paid for this.
If I can't access it anymore, okay.
I want that money back.
I want that money back.
And, you know, I don't see that being something that
Sony won't do that.
Well, no. But I'm saying people want it to be litigated, want it to be like codified into law. Make it a thing where, yeah, we're going to have to make...
I think it's a strong case to bring.
Yeah, we're going to have to legislate this because that's a issue that'll become more and more common and impactful the more and more that things are no longer physical media.
That's it. It's on my PS5.
No. I got the disc drive and I'll only buy discs. And,
Same.
Same. But yeah, it is a really strange thing. Spooky stuff.
Shame.
Because then also, you got to take the flip of that. What about your small indie developers that, that's the only way they upload is through, they don't make a physical disc of Stardew Valley, right?
Right, yeah.
It's all, their creation only exists digitally. And then what if for some reason that's no longer able to be accessed? That just doesn't exist anymore.
Right. To the public, at least.
Right, yeah. Uncomfortable stuff.
Yeah. I don't like that.
It's one of those issues of how fast the internet and just technology in general progresses, that problems pop up so
we gotta
fast
solve
that
quick.
Yeah, and then nothing moves quick enough to solve the problems as fast as technology creates them. So I think we're all just doomed to fall apart.
Start an anarchy, dude. Just break into
Fuck it. We're going back to caves.
Go back to tribes.
Yeah. Fucking. I don't think we've ever mentioned it over the last couple weeks. They are doing a Last of Us Part 2
Yes.
remastered.
Yes.
$10 upgrade if you own the PS4 version of The Last of Us 2. New game mode.
Yeah.
They call them lost levels. So it's like levels that were originally going to be in the game and then they ended up getting cut for whatever. They're basically deleted scenes, essentially. Bunch of new outfits and shit. Graphically, I think it is kind of an interesting thing where, like, when I was watching comparisons, it's not that much. It's not noted like a wow, that is an improvement.
That's the thing, though, is like The Last of Us 2 alone was still like a really pretty game and such a huge update from the first one. It doesn't need it.
No, well, and like somebody was saying, it's also a testament to how good Naughty Dog is at using PlayStation's technology.
Right.
Graphically,
Utilizing it.
where like a last generation game
Still holding up.
Looks very modern gen.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that I noticed was lighting, which would make sense because of ray tracing and things like that. But as far as like your models and things like that, not a major change. But I'm excited for it, especially with it only being a $10 upgrade. I'm like, I'll pay $10 because then you're basically paying $10 for those lost levels for that new game mode.
DLC. It's a cheap DLC.
It's a cheap DLC, yeah. And I'm like, I'm here for that. And then if somebody never got around to playing it the first time, they can play it on their PS5 and they're getting a little bit extra content for a game that's a little bit, a couple years old. So,
beautiful.
Fair change. Too. We do have a lot of trailers.
Yeah, let's burn through them.
I want to save one in particular for last because it pretty much segues us right into our topic for the week.
Yeah.
I think we start with House of the Dragon because it's the one that we have the least to say about. I didn't finish House of the Dragon Season 1, but this did make me want to get back into it.
Yeah.
You and I have talked about the Game of Thrones a lot. Just in a person where you're like, I'd like to watch it, but I know it doesn't end good, things like that.
Yeah.
And I've been wanting to rewatch the Game of Thrones because there is a lot of good stuff on the way to the bad ending. And it's like,
where's the director's cut?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I want to see the different ending. I guess that is the director's cut because they just basically threw
The
it away
directors were the ones that,
they start working on other stuff, which
and then lost their jobs because of how bad people didn't like.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Like, good.
Yep. Yeah, because it is. It's that thing of like, HBO was very like open and honest of like, no. We didn't tell them to end it in 8. We told them we'd have given them at least 2 more seasons.
Yeah.
They could have done 10 seasons. And Morgan and I have talked about that. You could have done 10 seasons.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of switch at the very end that feels like sudden turn. And like they wrap up 2 or 3 major stories
quickly
in like 6 episodes. And it's like,
that's it.
Yeah.
Did them dirty.
And so a lot of it does feel like heel turn, handbrake. Whoa, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And now it's just over? Okay. And I think, using 2 seasons, you could have gone, let's solve this in 1 season. set up the last conflict, and that last conflict is kind of a surprise. You know, that's your season 9 cliffhanger. It's like, oh my god, and then season 10's fully resolving that. I'm trying not to spoil things for you that you don't even have any.
I know the dragon burns down the entire place.
Yeah, so Daenerys, who is one of the characters that you're following and supposed to be rooting for.
We see her boobs in the first episode.
You do. You see him a couple more times, but yeah, it's not important.
Well,
it's not important. She is a person.
That too.
Outside of her body.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that she's not. Dude, I've seen the first episode and that's it. I know nothing of these characters except for she doesn't get affected by fire.
Yep.
Pretty badass.
Yep.
Sleeping with some dragon eggs.
Yep.
Pretty fucking cool.
Pretty dope.
And
I've seen her naked.
Seen her tits, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm not gonna... That's not nothing. I mean, you know? I gotta give appreciation towards it.
So...
Be wrong of me not to.
She, just like kind of on a handbrake turn, turns into a bad person. And I do think there's some, like, poetry to her story if you make her earn that. Because, like, her dad is known as the Mad King. He's the guy that everybody had to, like, rebel to get off the throne.
Mad King.
Yeah. And so she's got this weight over her head of, like, I'm going to redeem the family name. I'm not going to be my father, to then turn into
the self-fulfilling prophecy.
Her father. Right. And so I think if you drag it out and, like, you know, let there be a whole season of her fighting Cersei and the Lannisters, or, you know, everybody unites to fight the White Walkers, and that at the end of that season, it's like, all right, we're gonna fight. That's season 8. Season 9 is them fighting the Lannisters. At the end of season 9, the fucking pressure of it all, she starts to crack, and you're like, oh, this lady isn't right. Maybe she's not fit for the job.
Does Jon Snow die from the White Walkers? No, he gets banished.
Right, yeah.
To the frost.
Yeah, out to beyond the wall. He gets to go be with the wildlings.
Yeah.
Which he's basically like, bet.
Yeah, no fucking problem.
Yeah, he had a good time out there. And his sister gets to be the queen in the north. Everybody fucking gets a happy ending, except fucking Bran the Broken becomes the king. Fuck you, Bran.
What about the crow?
The Raven?
Yeah, he ends up
That
dying.
is Bran the Broken.
Oh.
Yeah, it's weird. Well, so yeah, it's a weird thing of like, he's not the Raven. The Raven is a dude. There's this joke in our family. Morgan and her mother were talking about the Game of Thrones before I had watched it. And they were talking about Bran sitting in the tree talking to the three-eyed raven. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're talking nonsense. And they're like, no, it makes sense if you've seen
I just took a Gobanzo bean.
Fuck you mean. And then it was funny because when I got to the part in the show where Bran is sitting inside of a giant tree talking to a man who is known as the three-eyed raven, I'm like, it all makes sense now. But the picture in my head is just like Kissing, Bran just sitting swinging his little feet on a tree limb talking to a raven with 3 eyes.
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck are you guys watching? You know what I mean? And then it was like, oh, this is what they're talking about. But anyways, House of the Dragon is a prequel that you don't have to know anything about the Game of Thrones to. Yeah, it's a very early prequel too. It's quite a few years back. Back in a time of lots of dragons, which excites me because this is a full-on civil war in the House Targaryen. And they're all dragon riders.
Yeah.
There's going to be lots of fucking dragons. And in fact, in this trailer, we do see, soldiers going off to war. Big medieval-style battles. That's some dope shit. Game of Thrones does it well. Fucking the biggest dragon I've ever seen in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's a pretty big, large lizard. We're not talking about no lots.
That big winged beast just soaring over. And I like that
wings
all of the...
holy like Swiss cheese.
Yes, tattered from battle. I like that. It looked like maybe it was flying over a battlefield, and it looked like all the soldiers stopped and just fighting and are just looking up like, oh my God. That is a large.
My only thing is during the Civil War, well, potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on, I don't know how it pans out.
Right.
A lot of those dragons could die. Like, they could find an advantage on them, and that's how they...
Well, you figure by the time we get to the Game of Thrones, dragons don't exist anymore.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is maybe because of this.
Yeah.
Maybe
a
that's
lot of
why.
dragons do die off. Yeah. That'd be exciting. Not excited to see a lot of dragons die, but exciting that there will be enough of them that they're disposable, and so you can get some pretty cool combat out of it.
Kamikaze with just dragons and stuff like that's going down. Just hop off and on to the next one.
Yep. But yeah, dragon riders are dope, anyways. But Morgan always says she wants to be a dragon rider, and I'm like, well, we don't have dragons, so I'll be dragon. No, never mind. You like Wendy's? Wendy's nuts drag on your face.
You know, Candace.
Anyways, then I want to talk about. Oh, what was the one after that? Oh, The Boys.
Yeah,
Because that's the one that I have the least to talk about because I don't know all the implications.
Oh, I'm all in.
But it's pretty good.
Looks amazing.
Homelander being crazy as always.
Mm-hmm.
His son Ryan.
Yeah.
We do see just throw a dude into a wall and he explodes.
He's got to die.
Yeah.
He's like, they got to kill him. He's too far gone.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to try to redeem him, but I'm telling you, kill him.
Shoot that kid in the face.
Well, that won't do nothing, but...
Depends on what you shoot him with.
I mean, Billy Butcher, old William, can just strangle him and burn him with his eyes, and that could kill him.
Yeah, because he's got old Temp V.
Mm-hmm. That's left on... Well,
yeah.
Yeah. Are you caught up?
No.
Okay.
No, but I know the ideas.
Yeah. But, so, he's got the Temp V, shooting his lasers, choking him out. Because they didn't kill off Soldier Boy.
Uh-uh.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
They just put him back.
They put him back in stasis.
Back in the tank.
Yeah.
Now, I'm probably not going to use him again because, well, if they did, he's not going to trust anyone. But
Right.
there could be something like that comes out.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, from the original comics, too, because I did start reading those. With Black Noir being a clone.
A clone of Homelander.
All right.
And we saw Black Noir in this after Homelander killed him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So learning maybe that is his clone.
Yeah.
Maybe his even match.
Or I could see it being a clone of Black Noir, and they kind of take that story and tweak it a little bit.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Black Noir is...
Death? Yeah,
okay.
Just gets punched through the fucking chest.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I forgot for a second.
I already said that he was dead.
Yeah. But
I was the one that broached that subject.
The part where like his little imaginary friends come up and they're just like comforting him in death. I was...
Oh, my God. Yeah. But I like the political implications, like seeing there be this divide between, like, the Starlight fans and the Homelander fans, and it's very obvious what the allegory is there. All
Make
the
America homeland again.
All the Homelanders are wearing stars and stripes, and and I do like the very short-sighted aspirations of Homelander, where in the trailer the woman's talking to him and basically telling him democracy, right when it's about to fall, you could swoop in and convince the people, and he's like Caesar, and she's like, yes, just like Caesar. And it's like, I don't know if you know Caesar's whole story, but
didn't pan out well for him.
Because him claiming the throne like that, everybody fucking kills him.
Maybe that's his fault.
And that's what I'm thinking is that's his end game, right? Not on purpose, but that's where he ends up. But then the last shot of the trailer is him just absolutely covered in viscera,
in blood. Because I'm curious, I can't remember her name. Congresswoman Schmitty, sure.
She's on committee.
She's got some wicked powers because she can just explode people's heads just by looking at them, and she can just do that to whomever, whenever, at any given point. Right. As long as I don't think it's even eye contact. She's just, as long as she's looking at you, she can kill you. And so, I'm curious because towards the back end, without getting into anything, she becomes much more relevant to the story. Because when you first learn about her, it's like, okay. And then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely interested to see hers because it looks like she wins.
Yeah.
That she won the election and stuff like that because all those balloons are dropping and stuff.
Right.
So I'm curious on...
Yeah, now you've got someone like that in power.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's a whole other baddie.
Right.
And I'm not talking about Slim Thick or nothing, just a bad person.
She a baddie.
But, she a baddie. No, but she's just a bad person and there's not been a story about that too much.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to see her dive in and see how that's going to come into play with everything.
Yeah, just get a swimming pool full of liquor and then dive in. So, Fallout, the series.
I'm the type of guy who'll never settle down.
I wasn't sure what song. You were just going. I'm the wanderer. I'm the wanderer. He's hacking, he's whacking, he's whacking.
Hey, everybody, let me tell you about a man named Butcher Pete. Dude, if they don't have any of those fucking songs in there, I'm gonna be pissed.
I don't want to set the world on fire.
If he's not fucking a Radroach by the first episode, I'm turning it off.
Get this shit out of here.
I want to see some Deathclaw. Rule 32.
34.
34.
Let me see the Deathclaw Ussy. the Deathclussy.
Deathclussy.
Yuck. They would have cloacas, right? They're basically lizards that evolved.
I don't even care, bro.
Yeah, whatever it is, let me see it.
The Ghoulisy.
Ugh. Ugh.
Pound that radiation off you, baby.
Talk about radiation sickness, you know?
Those radiation burns away. Dude, it comes full circle. Like, it comes full circle. I'm coming on a circle.
No.
I could.
But you won't. Not until we're done here. We're not done until I say we're done.
We're not done.
Unless I say we're done. Anyways.
Just a hard cut and just... Well, Chris came in a circle.
Yeah. So I'm flying solo. I just do the last 45 minutes of the podcast alone.
I just like how it incapacitates me.
Yeah, he's out of the game.
He can't finish it.
Yeah. It finished him. You know?
That by shit it did.
He didn't blow that nut. That nut blew him.
No, so Fallout.
Following
Vault 33, which we did the
don't
research.
know about.
There's nothing there, which is okay. We're not
I
pressed
figured that was
going to
be the case.
But I do hope that that's something that they touch on is other vaults.
Yeah.
Because they don't in other games. There's just single... Oh, yeah, they do. But
you go into them often and read all about them.
Yeah.
You can find whole databases of what the other vaults were and where they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're completely right.
Yeah. That's like a part of that game.
What do you think they're going to do as far as like... Because there's always a shtick to it, right? There's not one that's just everything sunshine and rainbow.
So that's the weird thing. Is like before Bethesda made these games, the vaults were just vaults.
Right.
And then Bethesda picked it up with Fallout 3 and we're like, what if all of them were social experiments with wacky things in them? So...
I don't think that was a bad idea.
No. I do think it's weird that, like, I would think it would make sense if some of them were that.
Sure.
But not all of them. That doesn't make sense. But... the original Fallout does take place in California.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would make more sense if this vault is just a standard, like it's just a survival vault.
It looks like a normal
pretty
vault
normal
like
place.
they got in the trailer. There's like gardens and stuff like that.
Other than the Overseer is a Cyclops, which I don't think we've ever seen in the games.
Yeah, so I'm curious on what they're doing there.
That's like a weird thing to add on.
That seems a bit mystical rather than science fiction.
Yeah.
And
it's not like the world before the war was science fiction. I mean, it was, but it was like that retro futurism.
Right, so it's not even mystic.
It was atom punk. It wasn't like we've got
Which
Cyclops
I'll eat that shit up.
You know, you've got the fucking 1950s car with the nuclear fusion reactor for an engine.
Just that huge fucking thing in the back.
But, so that was kind of a weird thing for me. And then I did tell you, I'm not sold on the ghoul look.
Yeah, you're telling me about that.
Like, for someone who's supposed to go, hey, smooth skin.
If it isn't my favorite smooth skin.
He looked awful smooth. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, they're supposed to be melting from radiation.
Rotting and decaying.
And he just looks like a pretty well-recovered burn victim. And I was like...
I saw a polished red skull.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying there. I don't disagree with you.
Especially for how
important ghouls are to the whole thing. That's so common, you know, which makes me think... Because in this one... In the trailer, and I guess like that's talking about it now makes me think about it. In the trailer, we only see one ghoul.
Yeah, and it's him. Yeah. Now, to be fair, most ghouls that you run into are feral ghouls. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're basically zombies.
But still, we didn't see any of them.
No, and they might be holding them off for. Oh shit! They're gonna do feral ghouls this episode. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, what if they did him with that feral? Well, I don't know. I guess maybe since he's not a feral ghoul, they're able to do something for his skin and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, we'll just have to watch.
Yeah, and it doesn't really pan out that way for other ghouls in the world. You know what I mean? But he's a fucking gunslinger.
Yeah, he was popping shots and
it's old Walter Goggins.
Mm-hmm, the Wild West style.
Yeah.
He got the trench coat on, his little cowboy hat.
Yeah, he's looking dope.
Fuck you, Dan!
Yeah.
Here comes
Here comes another one. Oh, fuck.
It's getting real hot. I got to jump.
It's getting fucking hot up here. I might have to jump out. Oh, no.
It's fucking dumb.
Getting fucking hot up here.
Oh, no.
I have to jump out.
I'm going to have to jump out.
I'm going to have to jump out.
That's the only logical thing. I'm gonna have to scare him fucking hot.
Fucking hot. I'm going to have to jump out. I'm going to have to jump out. Woo.
So yeah, smooth skins.
Yeah.
No, but for the vault, it looks like that they kind of break out into an anarchy
Yeah.
of sorts.
That one bitch just has like metal shrapnel in her eye, and she's just firing like a Tech
It's a
9.
fork.
Is it a fork?
It's a fork.
She's got a fork in her, and she's just like firing the fucking Tech 9 off into the crowd.
Which I'm fairly certain is a callback to the goat.
I'm the goat.
No, the traits, like the charisma and everything like that. The little skits that they did in Fallout 4 of like Vault Boy like talking about each trait and stuff like that. For charisma, one of the things is like if you have low charisma,
Right.
he tries to like talk to the person he's trying to rob, but he's trying to like use his charisma, and it fails, and she just stabs him in the eye with a fork.
Yeah.
And then he starts crying and bleeding out of the eye.
Yeah.
I'm curious if that's
Like a
they're
reference
gonna
to
do something along those lines.
Yeah, or it could just be a quick little reference like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but pretty cool.
Yep. We do see a shot that's definitely pre-war. Well, I guess
Ish.
mid-war. Yeah, we see the bombs going off while Walter Goggins' character, who is the ghoul, is riding
The horse
on
with his daughter.
horseback with his daughter, presumably his daughter.
Was his daughter.
Yeah.
You know she didn't make that.
No, and so
Well,
it is.
unless he, I
It
mean,
is
he
that
made it.
interesting thing of like ghouls. Most ghouls that are like intelligent.
Mhm.
I think all ghouls, I guess,
Or if they're
are
not
pre-war.
feral, they're like hella intelligent.
Yeah, and it's that weird thing of like they just for some reason don't age or age very slowly.
Yeah. Which what did we cop it up to? Like the radioactive.
Yeah, the
slowed
radiation just slows
video
down
game magic.
their DNA decay.
Video
you know?
game magic that I don't think anyone's really questioning.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Sure, why not?
But
They're
yeah,
ghouls,
so
right?
it's an interesting like those are interesting people to meet because you know that they saw the end of the world
Mm-hmm.
and have survived this long. Which explains like his gunslinging. You know, he's a very capable fighter because he's made it this long after the end of the world. But Fallout looks pretty dope.
Yeah, it looks real fucking dope. Clean.
Clean.
The anime or the CGI in it, phenomenal.
Yeah, dude. The fucking
The rad roaches that you do see just climbing up the wall.
Yeah,
Look-
and then that fucking Yao guy that is eating
The guy in the power armor
yeah.
looks really
It's a bear.
fucking good, and yeah, like the way that it's acting, like shaking real hard and pulling, looks like it looks really fucking good. I'm
Yeah.
pumped.
And
April
I was
can't come soon
I was
enough.
very happy with how the power armor looks. It
Yeah.
doesn't look like cosplay.
Mm-mm. It looks like legit armor
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
And like to see them in the vertibird
yeah.
was pretty dope as shit.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I did find that felt cosplay, and I think it's just because we see it so common as cosplay, is the vault suits.
Vault dwellers, yeah.
The jumpsuits. But I think that's just symptomatic of like that's the easiest thing to cosplay.
Sure.
So a ton of
Everyone
people do it,
yeah.
and so you're just so used to seeing a cosplayer as.
I
to
always
see
said
it
it.
in live
If we ever
action.
go to Comic-Con, I would love to cosplay as a vault dweller.
Yeah, because again, it's super simple and it's
But we can
fun.
also like add some spice to it,
Yeah.
like make it look withered and shit like that. Like
Or
we
you could
escaped
armor
the vault,
it.
right? Like
Yeah.
get the leather armor.
Yeah, but fucking yeah, GTA 6. Okay, so last week they were like, "Hey, next Tuesday, fucking be there, be square. We're gonna drop the trailer," and they posted a nice like,
Still.
sunny feeling
Of Vice.
Still, yeah, it's got that. It's definitely
Miami
Vice
Vice.
City feel to it. And then everybody and their mother was parodying it. All the other game companies were like, "All right, we're going to take that and go and run with it."
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, after the first like two, you're like, okay,
Mm.
now you're doing it.
Yeah.
Then, allegedly, a son of somebody pretty high up at Rockstar leaked like actual footage of GTA 6 that was like not gameplay. It was like definitely dev.
Testing
It was
mechanics.
definitely like dev stuff of like overhead camera panning
Right.
through the city, and it was like 30 seconds on TikTok. Then like
That blew up.
yeah, then like a map leaked and it disappeared. Then today, Monday the
Third, fourth.
4th, the day before the trailer was supposed to go out, somebody leaked the whole trailer on Twitter. Allegedly a YouTube employee.
How do they get their hands on that?
Well, because if the video's already uploaded
Oh.
and scheduled to post, the video's available on YouTube. It's just private and locked,
Right.
and then they can potentially see it.
Yeah.
But so that person's definitely going to lose their job.
Yep.
And is probably going to face legal action from Rockstar. And then Rockstar was just kind of like their Twitter was kind of sassy a little bit. Their tweet was basically like, somebody leaked the trailer, so please watch the like official one on our YouTube channel. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of major shitty, like big shitty, because like we talked about, there's fun to awaiting a release and like seeing the countdown
Doing
and
the
like
midnight releases.
and like they had a premiere set on their YouTube channel, and it's like you can click on it and it'll have like a thing playing of like, stay tuned, whatever,
Right.
and then if you have it up like 10 minutes before, it just runs right into the trailer showing. And so there's like this, you don't get that a lot in the digital age of like sitting around waiting for something to come out. And so it's kind of fun. Like I think about Fallout 4. The fucking Fallout website was just a countdown on a, green screen or, green computer screen. And then once the counter hit 0, the fucking Fallout 4 trailer just played. And it was like, that's fun,
Yeah. I remember getting Fallout 4 for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Because it came out right on the holidays.
Yeah, like in November. And so, yeah, it's that really shitty thing of like somebody kind of took that experience away. Are you going to make it, my man?
My beard's so itchy today.
Fucking, you need to wash it.
No, I just need to trim. It's getting long. I just trimmed it. It got super short and it's just getting long. It's in the process of growing out.
It's in that in-between stage. So, somebody took that shit away from us. And then Rockstar was like, well,
Okay.
here's the trailer. I guess we'll release like the better looking version of it.
Right, yeah. That's all you can really do at that point.
The graphics,
Look good.
good as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like how hard they're leaning into. It's not just the Miami area; it's Florida.
It's, yeah.
Because like we saw people on
Swamplands.
in the Everglades on the fucking fan boats.
Yeah.
They really leaned into like the modern social media because I mean you figure we haven't had a Grand Theft Auto game since 2013, and so 10 years later, here's what. Is it 2013 or 2015?
2013.
I think so, yeah.
Because it came out for the original Xbox 360.
For the PS3, yeah. And they, so they're leaning into like TikTok, Facebook Reels, things like that. And it's just a bunch of like Florida man does that, you know what I mean?
People shaking ass.
People, and it's funny because it's like, and I do wonder if that'll be something in the game. I mean, you figure you could do Facebook, face poke and all that.
What is it? Isn't it like they're bringing back Vice? Liberty. No, Liberty City's not in this one.
No, this is Vice.
Is it all just Vice? I thought
It looked like it from the trailer. We haven't gotten any confirmation on anything
because I
from
thought
Rockstar.
Okay.
If there's anything leaked, again, that's the problem with leaks. They might have told us that idea at one time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then well. So the only thing we didn't even know for sure that it was Vice City.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody was like, it's Vice City.
It said Vice in it, but
and then they were,
because I thought for whatever reason they were going to have Vice City, but then it connecting to the new map.
Well, the new map looks like maybe the rest of Florida.
Sure.
You know
sure,
what I mean?
Sure.
Is it's now a state as opposed to the
Just
city.
that city, yeah.
Yeah. Because they're able to do that now. I mean, you figure it's similar to GTA 5 was not just Los Santos. It was,
Yeah.
it was out into the country and up into the mountains. And
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do with this one, especially with because how interactive everything's supposed to be as far as the buildings, and it looked like there were a lot of buildings.
yeah, it looked like there was a lot of stuff to do. It felt very
this is
alive.
It does make it feel thinking back on GTA. All I can help but think is like, as soon as you get out of Los Santos,
There's nothing.
it's desert.
Yeah.
Right, and you're driving for fucking ever until you get up to Mount.
Wanahakalugi.
Yeah. And then the military base.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's it.
Yeah, because then there's just like a couple small little shanty towns.
Right.
Yeah.
So for this one here, to expand that large would be pretty cool.
Yeah, and like make it feel lived.
Yeah, I bet you it's going to be a huge map too, because GTA 5 is a huge map.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm not as concerned with huge as dense.
Yeah.
You know,
Fill it.
Yeah, if you make it, because it'll feel large if I can't go 2 feet without having something to do.
Right.
Now, I don't want it to be overwhelming either.
Sure.
You know, don't fill it full of shit that I got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go the Assassin's Creed route of like, collect these, chase these down, turn these into Luigi, turn these, you know, and you're like, fuck.
Jesus Christ,
Luigi. I got to get feathers. I got to get fucking codex pages. I got to get goddamn Assassin's temples. I got to get into the god, you know, and it's like, all right, there's just too many things to collect.
Right.
But if you just have a lot of activities where you're like, you know what I want to do? I want to go to the bowling alley. I want to go to the strip club. I want to go fucking swim. I want to go.
I hated how well they animated just bitches shaking ass
in this trailer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, they did.
I was like, damn, there's going to be open sex scenes.
Oh, yeah.
There
like,
has to be.
There's going to be some 14-year-old beating dick to this game.
Some 14-year-old. Me!
Some
Fuck
20,
you mean, bro?
Fuck you mean. Some 30-year-olds out there pulling pud to
Yeah,
this.
that's going to be me. I'm going to be fucking in my little chair, my feet up on my dresser. Just
Legs up to your head. Fucking panties around your shoulders. Oh, no. It looked good.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
It did confirm the thing that we'd heard from some reports, which is that it seems like it's going to be a
duo.
Bonnie and Clyde kind of thing, which I'm cool with. But yeah, looks dope. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be dope, and we're gonna do dope shit.
That's right.
Godzilla Cross Kong, like what? How are we? It's not Godzilla V Kong. Like what are we? Because it's an X. So is it Godzilla Cross Kong? The new empire?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like some people are, it's divisive. We are not alone in our opinion, but we're also not the majority opinion either.
Okay.
From what I've been reading online, there's a lot of people that are excited for it. It didn't look that good to me.
No.
No. Go outside, nerd.
Go outside, nerd.
Though I did see somebody that had a pretty, granted diplomatic, but a very fair point where they were like, isn't it beautiful that any Godzilla fan is getting what they want right now? You got Godzilla Minus One.
Monarch.
You've got the Monsterverse with, you know, Godzilla sprinting. It looked like a Fortnite event. You had Godzilla sprinting alongside King Kong, who
hitting the chug jug.
Looks like he's got the gauntlet on, the Infinity Gauntlet on.
Kong's just doing the gritty.
Yeah. Just fucking hitting the gritty on it. No, I don't know.
I guess it's somewhat Transformers now too.
A little bit, yeah. That's the weird thing. Like, and
I don't like that.
No, and it was Godzilla v Kong that did it, where all of a sudden the world was very high tech and futuristic, to the point of like having multi-directional crafts.
Right.
You know what I mean? You've basically got spaceships, but in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it's just weird.
Cause like for that, like I wasn't even against the thought of Kong using his scale, like his back thing, as a tool. That's pretty primitive.
You mean Godzilla?
No, Kong.
Using his back thing?
Yeah, because he broke off his scale and turned it into the axe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, using the Godzilla scale.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
But Kong, using that, and like that to me, even like, all right, I'll let that slide. You know, because that's
That felt cool to me.
Apes and primates of sorts.
Yeah,
they are
tools.
in the somewhat Stone Age.
Yeah.
You know, they use them as tools. And
Yeah,
stuff
they're
like
making
that.
tools.
And so that's fine with me. But then now he's got a full fitted glove looking like MJ. And
Yeah, he's got a gauntlet.
Yeah, and it's just.
So it's he's either got a gauntlet or it's a prosthetic.
And if it's prosthetic, I'm pissed. Like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, they just give him a mechanized arm.
But also, they made him look super fucking old. And that's my theory, and I'm going to call it now. Timestamp it. Ready?
They're going to kill him.
They're going to kill Kong,
And you got
and
that baby Kong.
whoever
Diddy Kong.
whoever Cranky Kong, this old
Yeah.
guy, he isn't gonna kill Godzilla because you can't, right? He regenerates and stuff, but they'll put him back in hibernation.
This one doesn't. I mean, not like the other one does.
I thought all Godzillas had regeneration.
Not like that.
Oh. Oops.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't think they're gonna kill him, but I think they are probably gonna put him back into sleep somehow. Like probably beat him. They're all ganging up on him, and he just thought, "I gotta hibernate.
I gotta sleep this off."
Yeah, and so
the villain is King of Scars. And he's I did get a giggle.
He's just got a bullet, like a shotgun shell. What is it? The crossbody.
Yeah, bandolier.
Bandolier, and it's just bones and spines.
And he's got he's bald, but like he's got the crown, of hair.
Cranky Kong, dude. He's
Cranky Kong. And I would be too if I looked like that.
Yeah.
He didn't look menacing. He looked butt ugly. He looked fugly.
His eyes were nasty and milky.
Got those milky eyes. But yeah, I got a feeling Kong's probably gonna die, and whoever this baby monkey is gonna take over. Yeah, old Diddy Kong.
Mm-hmm. Old Diddy Kong.
You want to talk about Godzilla Minus One?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
All right. What's the synopsis on that shit?
I fucking need it, bro. I got that shit on. Synopsis.
Yep.
Circa 1942.
No,
it was
45.
45.
End of the war. I got this
shit on lock.
Wrong year.
Circa 1942. I forget what his name is. They don't really go into.
I mean, yeah, they did.
They do, but like, there's the professor who they just call the professor.
Doc.
Yeah. The kid.
Yep.
And then who's the other guy?
So the lady is Noriko. Our main man is hold on, the name's cut off here. Don't even. I'll kick you in the head. Yo, he was in fucking Spirited Away.
Nuh-uh. Who did he play?
Bo.
That's
how the name's like. Nuh-uh. But also, you probably wouldn't recognize his voice because it wasn't. It would have been the Japanese.
Oh, well, I've seen both.
Yeah,
the Japanese and the dub.
But he plays Koichi Shikishima. Let's see here. And then we got the neighbor, Sumika.
Mm-hmm.
Yoji Akitsu is the guy that I think you're trying to think of, like the boat captain.
Yeah.
Let's see here. There's just a lone white dude in the cast. And I'm trying to think. He doesn't have a name either. I wonder if maybe he did like helped do creature voices and stuff. You know what I mean? Like helps him make some of the sound. But yeah, I'm looking to see if there's any other like major names that we need to. Kenji Noda, but I don't know which one that is because the picture won't load, or they don't have a picture on
Who
IMDb.
is the gentleman?
Tachibana was the guy that fixed up the plane. But sorry, your synopsis: circa 1942. No,
yeah, circa 1945.
No. Yep.
A kamikaze pilot.
Yep.
What's his name again? They call him something for short.
No, they use his
or
name.
Is it they just call him by his last name?
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah, they just use his last name, which is Shikishima.
Shikishima is a kamikaze pilot, and there is is it the Odo Island?
Yeah, Odo Island.
Odo Island, which is just a mechanic island that's
basically a pit stop.
Yep. So he is flying this plane down, and it looks beat up. It looks older-ish.
Yeah, but also a lot of their planes at the end of the war were beaters.
Looking rough.
Especially the kamikaze planes. Because
they don't need to be top-notch.
The only thing we're using it for is to crash into battleships.
Right. And so he's landing this thing, and he's like, yeah, this thing's not safe to fly. Like, I'm not going to make it there. And they're like, all right, well, you're just going to hang out with us for a bit.
And we'll take a look at it.
Yeah. And then he comes back, and he's like, nah,
there's nothing wrong with that plane.
Nothing's wrong with this plane. And then they're all like, you're a disgrace.
Yeah.
And then one of them...
You're a coward.
Yeah, one of them comes up and goes, I'd be in the same...
Yeah, I don't doubt you, my man. Because also, you've got to keep in mind, it's 1945.
Yeah.
Late 1945. I think it said, like, last days of the war. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, it was pretty apparent. which way it was going by the end. And so what's the point
Right.
in me killing myself
For nothing.
and we're still going to lose.
Nothing to change.
Yeah. And it was that interesting question of like honor and how they felt about it at the time. And we talked about it coming out of the movie.
You have no honor.
It was a good...
You are a slave to it.
It was a good experience, I think, for us because this is a Japanese film.
Yeah.
It's not a U.S. film taken from the Japanese perspective. It is a Japanese film being shown in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get a pretty good feel of like, this is the Japanese perspective on this time.
Yeah.
Especially when he comes home.
Yeah. Which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But so, yeah.
Yeah, because your synopsis is basically just, here's how the movie happened.
Yeah, so it starts off. Yeah. So from there, and then late at night, we start hearing some shit.
Yep.
And then we see
the
Godzilla.
Synopsis is it's a Godzilla movie.
Yeah, we see Godzilla really early on.
Yeah.
Which I loved. Loved that.
Yeah.
And they're all like, one guy was like, locals call it Godzilla.
Yeah.
They say that this is
some creature that comes up from the deep
and brings deep fish, and that's kind of like his giveaway of how he's going to come up. And then they're convinced they're trying to fight it and kill it, but also be hiding. But they tell, I want to say, is it Tsushima?
No, it's Shikishima.
Shikishima.
Yeah, we're gonna pronounce it about 9 different ways.
Yeah, we are.
Shikishima. I'm not sure how it's
Shikishima.
pronounced. Yeah.
But they're telling him like, get in your plane and just shoot that thing with your...
He's like, I've got a 30 millimeter gun on there.
Yeah.
Like, that's not gonna... And they're like, nothing can fucking hold up to a 30 millimeter.
Yeah, that thing will kill
like,
anything. You sure about that? Because we're fucking losing the war.
Are you sure about that? He's not feeling too confident when he's looking at Godzilla.
And right on him because Godzilla just came out and killed everybody except for 2 people, which was him and Tachibana.
Who was like the guy running the pit stop.
Tachibana basically says like, you're a fucking fool.
They're all dead because of you.
And this is on your hands.
Yeah.
He goes home and everything's just in ruins.
It's Tokyo. Yeah. And he lived in Tokyo.
It's rubble.
And I told you and Morgan, the thing about Tokyo is like, it didn't receive an atom bomb, which I thought was kind of not a good thing to show, but like, I think a lot of Americans don't realize that we were killing 100,000 people before the atom bomb.
Okay.
And so to see Tokyo and go like, oh, I didn't know that we dropped an atom bomb. And it's like, no, we didn't. We dropped fire bombs for days and killed 100,000 people in a night in a firestorm, And it's like, we were being monsters before we dropped the atom bomb. And so, I mean, the city's gone. The rubble that is left is singed.
Yeah.
And it's that thing of like, is like, who's left, and you're trying to take stock. His poor neighbor, she lost like her husband. Presumably her husband was in the war.
Yeah.
But then her children were killed in the bombings. And, it seems like his parents were gone. And, where she's like, they didn't make it either. And you kind of get the vibe that like a lot of people didn't. I mean.
Yeah. But then she even recognizes that the fact that he was a kamikaze pilot.
Yeah, she knew he was a kamikaze and was like, what are you doing home?
Yeah, why are you home?
Yeah. And it's like that's a really big like scarlet letter thing is anybody that knew him and knew that he was going to be a kamikaze pilot, his mere existence is a sign of shame, and that he was a coward and didn't do his job. And
that's tough.
Yeah.
Because especially how strong they believe in like, like
honor.
You're saying, honor and tradition and stuff like that.
And I mean, you figure you had soldiers in the 70s hiding out in like the Philippines and some of the Pacific Islands still fighting World War II because they refused to believe that Japan would surrender.
Yeah.
And they had to have their commanding officers flown in to tell them,
the war's over.
Hey, like stand down. Like your order is to go home, and that's the only way they could get them to give up because I'm not going to surrender.
No, because we just don't do that.
Yeah. And then you've got this guy who refused to do his job. This is the way it's looked at. And it's like, but where is there honor in that? And that's kind of the question of the movie, right? And we talked about that. Can we rate it?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's a Godzilla movie.
Right.
Most of the spoilers are actually about the human story.
Yes. There are a couple
There's some
curveballs.
action, yeah, like scenes that I wouldn't want to spoil for somebody.
We're gonna.
Right, but I mean unexpectedly.
Yeah.
So, how do we rate stuff around here?
Well, you can always be overwhelmed, which means you're thoroughly, overjoyed with the film. Your expectations were surpassed.
Yep.
You can be underwhelmed, which means that was a big fat stinker. Your expectations weren't quite met.
Yep.
Or you can always be right in the middle and be
Simply whelmed. You want 1, 2, 3 it?
1, 2, 3.
Overwhelmed.
Over fucking whelmed.
Yeah,
like
majorly.
Cash. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Gas.
That shit was gas.
Yeah.
Like it
was
like the best Godzilla movie I've ever seen.
Yeah. And it was definitely, I don't want to say a reboot, but it was like, okay, it's an origin Godzilla movie.
Yes.
And it was definitely akin to the original Godzilla, which was, all in all, an analogy of,
The atom bomb.
yeah, a metaphor for what happened to Japan in the war and the years after it, you know. I mean, you figure it's literally called his atomic breath, you know. And so, and that's one of the things I wanted to talk about was the fact that they made Godzilla's atomic breath in this literally an atomic explosion.
Yeah, whatever it touches.
It's a laser beam, and when it makes contact, just an atomic blast goes off. And so there's one scene in particular where Godzilla comes out of the ocean and attacks Tokyo.
Yeah, big dick swinging.
And basically drops an atom bomb on Tokyo.
And like effortlessly.
Yeah.
Just comes in and just...
And then leaves, right? And that's where that metaphor is like, what could they do to stop that?
Not a thing.
Nothing, right? And then you just have to exist with that over your head.
And they had just finished like rebuilding Tokyo and stuff like that and getting back on the ground.
Yeah, and it was one area, because the movie takes place over several years.
Yeah.
We get up to like, 47?
Something like that.
And so like you get to see Shikishima build up his house and like repair everything, and he meets a young woman on like very early on him coming back when he's just basically
still in the
scooting
ruins.
by, yeah. And she was like stealing food, and she gives him an infant and like runs off, and he's kind of like, oh, okay, what am I supposed to do with a kid, you know? And they end up kind of not being a couple, but being a couple.
Yeah.
Where he's helping her because that's not even her kid either. It's her mother, that daughter, that baby's mother asked her to take care of the baby. And so she was like, what am I supposed to do? Like, not do that? Yeah,
Right.
Of course I'm going to help out. And so you kind of got this makeshift family existing in the rubble of Tokyo.
That touches me right here. My heart.
Yeah.
I
I like that. But
My large intestine.
the part that like really not bothered me, but like froze me in that moment was a few things. First thing, you saying that, nobody touched me right here. You can be pointing at your dick.
Yeah.
You know. Second thing, it could be a genuine statement. So I didn't want to immediately be like, and you're like,
Whatever, man.
whatever, fuck you, man. But so then also I'm like, or is he being funny?
I'm being funny.
Yeah. So, it's just this little makeshift family in the leftovers of Tokyo, and touching in the cockles of the heart. And then fucking Godzilla shows up, and it's that thing of that's where the real metaphor of the atom bomb comes in. Is there's that PTSD of like,
Yeah.
is it just going to happen again?
Yeah. Once it's there, it can never really go away because the thought of it's always there.
Yeah.
Right.
And like that weapon just exists now.
And we know nothing about how to stop
it. Yeah. And like you just can't. We still go, if it happens, we can't stop it.
Right.
And so, yeah, it is a really, like, it's a human story. It did the thing that we've always talked about is like the weakest part of, especially the American Godzilla movies, is they try and shoehorn in they make it an action monster movie, but then they try and do a hero, like a human story. And the human story is boring as fuck and like has no heart. And this was the not exact opposite. It was like a very compelling human story.
But it was minimal.
They could have told the human story without the Godzilla stuff in it.
Yeah.
And it's still been compelling. If you replace Godzilla with the atom bomb, it's the same story.
Yeah.
And I like that. That's like, okay, that's a good sign of the movie itself. I like that we just didn't do any of our plot thoughts or character chemistry up front.
No, we're just diving right in.
Yeah. Godzilla does regenerate in this quickly, like Wolverine, fast. They detonate
a mine in his mouth.
Yeah, a water mine in his mouth, and it just like he blows his jaw open on the side, and then it just fuses shut. When he was attacking that destroyer, terrifying.
Oh yeah,
out in the ocean, and he's like climbing on it, and the fucking cannons are firing into his chest,
and he's just not stopping.
No, and he goes under the water,
and
just fires the atomic breath into the bottom of it. Yeah, and you can see it under there charging up, and then just. I liked his roar in this because it was not the roar of.
It wasn't like high pitched. It was pretty deep.
Yeah, it was a big scary monster.
Yeah. The most terrifying thing to man.
Yeah. The atomic bomb. The atom bomb. I did see a lot of people saying like spiritually, this movie and Oppenheimer kind of have a weird. Like both those movies came out this year.
Yeah.
Of like Oppenheimer was like the guilt of creating it and using it, and then theirs was like the fear and the trauma of it having been used.
Right.
And I kind of like that. Not, you know what I mean?
In an ironic stance.
Not ironic, but I like that we're getting to see both of those perspectives in 1 year, and that they're both valid perspectives.
Feelings,
yeah. And it is that weird thing of like, who'd have thought that like in the year 2023 we'd get a Godzilla movie that was like a poetic look at the results of war. You know what I mean? When you today get a trailer that, like I said, looks like a fucking Fortnite event, you know, and you've got the director of the Godzilla Cross Kong being like, they're like fucking 12-minute stretches where it's just computer generated stuff. And I'm like, that's not necessarily a brag.
No. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, and it was good. And like it's a very like unfortunate thing of like the contrast, because also Godzilla in this looks really good and is very scary.
Yeah.
The
only complaint I had about Godzilla is one that Godzilla, the budget was a little lower, you know, because it's not
it's a $15 million movie.
It's not a Western
blockbuster.
Style, where they put
$200 million
of dollars into it.
But I think that was a strength.
Honestly, yeah. But the only thing that the repercussion of that, the only real big repercussion is at times Godzilla looked a little toony.
Sure.
Just like in his arms were very stiff.
Yeah.
Until they weren't.
But also there was a fair bit of reference to the original Godzilla.
Sure.
Even in the design of the monster.
Mm-hmm. I do think his eyes were super like scary and like
very.
Oh.
Like I really liked that when Godzilla came ashore in Tokyo for the first time, they just full on played the original Godzilla theme.
Yeah.
And I mean he fucks shit up.
I mean hard.
And they made Godzilla a monster again as opposed to a hero.
Yep.
Where you're like, that's terrifying that this could just show up and do this. And like they fully show the atomic explosion.
And he's just stomping on people.
Yeah.
Like killing people and you just watch that happen.
Yeah, biting them in half, throwing them. And the thing that really struck me from that scene when he does attack the city and does set off the atom bomb, well, the atomic explosion, is the aftermath. You know, because like he's there, he fires the blast, and Noriko pushes Shikishima into like an alleyway, and she gets taken away by the blast, and is presumed dead.
Yeah, and
he's kind of like, you know, battered a bit from just the debris, but he climbs up out of the alleyway, and like the city's gone. You know, the area they were in is gone, and it's like, yeah, that was, and it was in the blink of an eye, and it was a moment. It went off, and then, you know, a few moments later, when you climb out of the Rebel, it's just gone.
Nothing's there.
Yeah, and it's some of the worst natural disaster level destruction in a moment. And again, that's some of that trauma where it's like, how do you don't get over that?
Right.
That can just happen. And then I really like that it turns into like a war film or like,
Yeah.
Like a naval battle at the end.
Which I really wasn't expecting because they had a small scene where they had tanks, but they didn't really do nothing. And then they're like, all right, we're going to. But like the reasoning behind it made sense. And
Because like also, the Japanese tanks weren't good.
They had a strong navy though.
Yeah. And not even.
Yeah.
They had a strong navy until it started to get destroyed.
Right.
And then they just weren't able to replace it. But that was where their strong suit was in the Pacific. And so they're like, all right, let's get some fucking destroyers. And they had a really good plan. I liked it turned into like Jaws.
Kind of, yeah. They used science.
Yeah, where they're like, all right, we're going to wrap a cable around Godzilla out in the water and fire Freon gas so that the bubbles surround him and break the surface tension and he'll sink to the bottom of the ocean. And we're going to get him out in this trench. It's like a 1,500 meter deep trench. And if we drop him in a pretty short amount of time,
that bee just can't withstand that pressure.
Yeah, that pressure will kill him. And they're like, what if that doesn't work? And they're like, well, we came up with another idea. We've also got flotation devices and we'll fire those off and bring him back up really fast. And the rapid depressurization, he might explode. Which is a thing. Yeah, I mean, if you rapidly depressurize or pressurize, you crush or, implode or explode. And I was like, all right, that's sound science.
That makes sense.
Shikishima does start to be like, yeah, and you know what I could do?
I could be the kamikaze.
I could be a kamikaze pilot. Obviously, he's not telling anybody that. He's like, I'm just going to be a pilot and fire at him. I know how to fly a plane, and I can be fast and agile, and he won't be able to get me. And they're all like, everybody is kind of like,
I don't think that's the best idea.
I don't like the idea of you being in a plane. I got to love it with you, my man. He's like, no, I'm solid. I'm steady. And he straight up is like he gets, what was his name, Tachibana, to come back and fix up this like pretty cool looking prototype plane that never got to be used by the Japanese. It was meant for taking out the bombers, the American bombers, if a land war on Japan were to happen. And since it never got to that, the plane was just mothballed. So they fix it up. And he's like, hey, do me a deal. There's 4 guns on that bee. Cut 2 of those shits out of there. Get them out of there. Put a fucking bomb in the nose of this thing. Bomb in the tail. I'll blow. Godzilla's going to open his mouth. That's me. I'm in there. It's going
like
off.
Swimwear.
I'm in there like swimwear. I'm going to get all up in Godzilla's mouth and bust.
Dosh your panties.
I'm going to explode in Godzilla's mouth is the plan.
Oh, Lord, I'm about to bust.
I did like that. So they had 4 destroyers out there. I like that they used 2 of them as decoys.
Yeah.
Like just tied up the steering wheels and just sent them off so that Godzilla would waste his atomic breath on them.
Just have to recharge.
Yeah. And they're like, all right, move fast.
Full steam ahead.
Yeah. And like they have to call that maneuver, just scrape past each other. And they're all like, hold.
Yeah, that was nerve wracking.
Yeah. The ships are having to like pass so close to each other because they're wrapping around Godzilla that they just like kind of scrape along the side. And it's like, all right, go slow, go slow, go slow. All right, we're free, full speed.
Go.
And they wrap them, and I like you see Godzilla kind of looking around like, what the fuck?
What the fuck is this?
What is this allowed?
Mathematics.
And so I did call this because there's a little like, there's one more thing. When Tachibana was showing Shikishima the plane, he's like, there's one more thing, and then it like cut away. And I was like, he's got an ejector seat in that bitch. Because they even talked about in a scene prior, like how during the war, Japan, the country, like the government, didn't really seem to value the lives of the soldiers. And that's kind of all of the people fighting at the end are veterans of the war.
Yes.
And so they're kind of getting a shot at redemption in a way, which was a good story to see, I think.
But they're even acknowledging to the point of like company or the country's not going to do anything about this. It's up to us.
It's us. We've got to do it.
Yeah.
And because they're all citizens at this point. And the doc actually is the one that makes the speech about how like Japan, the country, didn't value life and says like, fucking the tanks sucked, didn't have armor. Anybody that was driving a tank was basically dead meat, and they didn't care. Yeah, the kamikazes, the fucking, our supply chains sucked so bad that like half of our casualties were from starvation and disease. How unvaluable do you feel when they can't even be fucking bothered to get you food.
Right. Or clean water.
Yeah, and so they're like, we're not going to do it that way. We're going to try and get everybody out of this alive, And then you got Shikishima, who's like, but... And that was the other thing is that he mentioned was that the planes didn't even have ejector seats. Mm-mm. So, if your plane's going down, you're just going down.
Yeah, you're going down with it. It's going down for real.
You got to stop combining war tragedy with fucking pop bangers. And so, I was like, he's got an ejector seat. And he did. He fucking... Godzilla does do the sinky maneuver. And, he was getting ready to charge up. Yeah. And they fired the Freon and dropped his ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was clean. Because
Yeah, it was cool as hell when he gets to the bottom and you see his light just kind of blink out where he's like unconscious, presumably under there. But not dead. Mm-mm. And they're like, all right, he ain't dead, because he starts kind of like moving around and pulling on the cables. They're like, bring him up, fire the flotation devices. And I like that you did start to see like around his face kind of swelling.
Yeah.
And starting to get that frost on it, where just that rapid depressurization is changing his temp. Mm-hmm. And he gets to the top and starts to charge up his laser again. Shikishima just fucking flies straight into his mouth. Mm-hmm. And Godzilla's head just explodes. We were like, oh, fuck. And then Godzilla just kind of like disintegrates.
Yeah.
Kind of like slakes apart and sinks into the ocean. Yeah.
The beam comes out and...
Yep. And starts to regenerate down at the bottom of the ocean with like the little T's. Mm-hmm. The human story aspect... Oh, yeah. And Shikishima, did pull the ejector seat and was floating down. And so he got the redemption because he gets to be the hero, but he didn't have to give his life to be a hero.
Right.
And he still was honorable. And it's like that thing of he's doing an honorable thing by taking in this young lady and that girl and, kind of being a father in a way that was like not prepped for at all. You know what I mean?
Right.
He didn't have any responsibility to those people, but he did the honorable thing. Mm-hmm. And Noriko, as far as they know, she's dead. And so everybody's like, Shikishima, you got to stay alive for... What was the little girl's name?
It starts with an A, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah. Was it Akiko?
I think.
They're like, you got to stick around for Akiko. And he's like, yeah, big bet, but yeah, he got it. And then immediately is like, yeah, I'm gonna kill myself tomorrow. Yeah. And like leaves her a packet of money with a note on it, like give to neighbor, And so she just wakes up in the morning and is like, my daddy's gone, my mommy's dead. There's this note for you.
Yeah.
And the neighbor's like, bet.
Yeah.
All right, sick. That's awful. But then fucking wire comes through. Surprise telegram for Mr. Shikishima. And she's like, I'll take it. And we kind of called it. Noriko was found alive in the rubble. And like that was a real problem too, is like there's that presumed dead.
Yeah.
Where there's just so much rubble and destruction that you don't know. It's safer to assume that they're dead than alive.
Right. Don't give them the false hope.
But so he, gets to, he doesn't die. He gets to be the hero without dying. Comes ashore and they're like, Noriko's alive. Here's Akiko. And so he takes Akiko to the hospital and they see Noriko and she's kind of banged up pretty bad. She's got like a cast on and a sling and half of her face is bandaged up. And he comes in and is like giving her a hug and she asks him like, is your war over? Because he kind of told her a few times that like he's still at war.
Yeah. Because she's trying to be like, let's just be a family. And he's like, nah, that's not what I want.
Yeah, and it's like he does. He kind of confides in his buddies that like he did want that. He just couldn't get past the war itself. Mm-hmm. Which that was another thing, was like he has full on his like PTSD nightmares were of Godzilla, but it's obviously that's a real
the atom bomb.
Godzilla didn't have to be there, just the war in general,
right?
And where he's waking up in the middle of the night not knowing what's real or not,
Yeah, and he has a couple different times where he like kind of breaks.
Yeah, where he's fully like, I died on that island and this isn't real. This is just like the last firings of my brain, and she's having to tell him like, no, I'm real. Like we're okay. It's all right here. You're good. Or like, is this the dream? Right. And I'm still in the war. And it's like, that's really
Scary.
fucked up.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's where I was like, man, this is like a heavy...
It's getting deep.
Yeah. And it's a Godzilla movie, you know. And we've just been so spoiled in the wrong way of, like, only seeing Godzilla as, like, a fucking charge 'em up, beat 'em up movie. That, like, oh, yeah, it's
Showtime.
This is it. And it's like, no, Godzilla's actually used to be something. But no, I was thoroughly impressed.
Yeah. Ditto.
And I want to go see it again.
Mm-hmm. I'd love to see it again.
Yeah, it's one that I'm like, yeah, I'd buy that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. As soon as it's out on disc, I'm buying it.
Yeah. Yeah, put that shit on TV here with the fucking sound system.
Knock it off.
Cut it out.
Cut it out.
I did want to mention that movie, like we said, had a budget of $15 million.
Yes.
Well, I was pulling up its Rotten Tomatoes, first of all. In the United States, or, you know, not in the United States, sorry, I was combining money and ratings. So on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 96% fresh from the critics and a 98% audience score with over 1,000 plus verified ratings.
Good.
On IMDb, it's got an 8.5 out of 10. And then its box office, let me pull that back up here. Because also, it didn't really have much of a marketing budget.
Mm-mm. Yeah, what? I didn't even think it came out until the 22nd.
Yeah. That was one thing. Go ahead and talk about the people in the theater.
Oh, my God. So we walked in there, and it was pretty dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's like two guys in front of us.
Yeah, I think there's, 4 other couples or, like, groups of people.
Yeah.
There was 2 in front of us,
and
one
then
right
two way far and down.
Yeah, and then
the
there's
front.
a group behind us.
Yeah.
And the people way far in the front came up, sat, like, for a split second.
Yeah, the movie started. It felt very much like, oh, this is like subtitles.
Yeah, this is sub. It's not dubbed. Let's leave.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
I don't mind sub.
I don't either.
Really?
I prefer it.
Yeah, I really don't mind it.
Because you get, oftentimes the dub just doesn't.
The translation doesn't match up or align properly. So yeah, the sub, and plus, I don't know, like, it's just, I don't mind reading subtitles.
Yeah.
So. But, yeah, so they left, and then the couple in front of us, or the family, they got up and got popcorn like halfway through. A group of girls to our left
That talked the whole half.
talking, and then just got up and left.
Like halfway through.
And the guys behind us were all right.
Yeah.
They were quiet.
They kind of got a little chatty at times, but
other than that, it wasn't too bad.
But not like open conversation. It was just like, but you could hear their whispers.
Get some more popcorn.
Yeah. On a budget of $15 million, it has grossed $34 million worldwide.
Jesus. So it's made
its money back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, fantastic, good.
Good.
First of all, fuck you, Disney. Look at that. A $15 million movie made more this week than the Marvels did.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
How's that taste?
Yeah.
Not good.
Put that in your mouth and smoke it. But yeah, so I think, good. This was one that deserved to succeed. And I like that it's a foreign film doing well in the United States.
Yes.
It made $11 million in the U.S. last weekend. Mm-hmm. Nearly made its budget just in the U.S. So it's like, that's really good.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more of that.
Yes. Yeah.
Kind of take some of the market away from Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because Hollywood only has like 2 studios making shit now. And it's kind of the same shit.
Same exact thing, just copied and pasted.
And so, yeah, let's get some more, more wolves in there.
Yeah.
But do you have any more thoughts on it?
Mm-mm.
All right, well, what you been thinking about, my boy?
I think what you meant to say is, welcome back to Chris's Cryptid Corner. I'm your host, Chris. So I figured, on the topic of Godzilla, what other thing to talk about than the Gates of Hell? Which we've talked about before.
Yeah.
But just to kind of reiterate, more so bounce like theories and back and forth and like cool ideas.
I thought it was going to actually tie into Godzilla.
Huh? It does, and this is what I'm getting to.
I was like, oh, you're going to talk about a sea creature. Then you're like, well, the gates of what better than the gates of hell?
The Gates of Hell. But so, thinking about, I don't think I've done the Gates of Hell. I've done the As Above, So Below.
Yeah, I mean, we did a whole episode about the gates of hell. And that's what led us into As Above, So Below.
Oh, yeah, that's true. All right, well, I won't go into... Well, I will, because there's one part that ties into it that kind of leads into one of the things I wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the fact that the Gates of Hell crater was created in 1971 when the Soviets, the Russians, were drilling a whole bunch and had a little bit of a whoopsie daisy. And it says here, and I quote, accidentally punched a massive underground natural gas cavern, causing the ground to collapse and the entire drilling rig to fall in.
Fuck yeah.
Having punctured a pocket of gas, poisonous fumes began leaking at an alarming rate, and it's just a non-stop fireball.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And so, like, the thought of that, like, the picture here, which, you know, we say we do, and I will this time, actually. We'll post to the socials, which maybe you can catch on Instagram at Simple One Podcast. But so, like,
fuck.
Right, that picture
that
there.
looks like the mouth of hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for something like that, ironically enough, that made me think of the calendar of the Dungeons and Dragons that's hanging up in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But that made me think, one of the things was, like, it's the eye of not a cyclops, but it's like a giant creature.
Yeah.
And it's the eye that's on fire and stuff
Right,
like
yeah.
that. And it was one of those where it's like, which we had talked about, which was, again, something, and how it ties into Godzilla. For something like that, with it being the eye of the creature, a problem we ran into with the 2014 Godzilla is even when we do see it, we only see, like, his leg.
Yeah, most of the movie was like a tease at Godzilla.
Right. And then
at the very end, you get...
Yeah, played it off as he's just this huge dude, right, in the 2014 movie. And we talked about it with Cloverfield, how it's like, it's too big of a monster for it to really kind of have that, like, because you can't do anything.
Right.
With this one, you still couldn't do anything, but it wasn't because of the size.
Yeah, it was just...
I mean, he's just...
so resilient. And then, like, the regeneration.
Yeah, it's like, even, you know, the damage that you do...
you can just fix.
Yeah, it stuns them, but then it's like, you know, they put in all that effort for not a lot of payout, right? So the thought of that one there, and then also, I have it pulled up on the other page here. So it is believed that the fiery hole is the home of skinwalkers. And so I thought that would be a pretty interesting, thought of what's underneath there. If it's like a matter of, is it a ship? Is it a society?
Right, yeah.
Society.
Society. We live in a society.
Oh, if it was me walking on the floor, you'd walk right over me. You do it every day. So much self-pity, Arthur. But so the thought of, like, not necessarily the hole itself, you know, is a creature. My hole's a creature. But the thought that the hole is a hub for creatures, just like mine. Just like how my hole is a hub for creatures.
The creature hub hole.
The creature hub hole. But so, but no, those were the two big ones. You can straighten up. Those are the two big ones. My hole.
I got two big ones.
Our holes.
Yeah, the two big ones.
That's where our names in college. The big ones. But you know, the thought of, like, the skinwalkers, kind of like, it makes me think of what is it from God of War? Those flying insects things.
The Dark Elves.
No, maybe it's not God of War then. What game is it? Where, like, you're walking through their nest and you have to be real fucking quiet because, like, they're sleeping. But they all have, like, that hive mind.
I have no idea.
But, like, the concept of, like, a hive mind for skinwalkers gives me
Creeps,
goosebumps. Yeah, it freaks me. Like, just the you know, you
giving
kill
the old willies.
Yeah, you kill one and they're all look right at, like, what is it from 28 Days Later with Cillian Murphy?
Yeah, when that one just sits up in the
like,
pews when he's like, hello. It's just hello. He's just
dude, that scared the piss out of me.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah,
because he just kind of is like rigid, staring at him with his mouth all open. And I like Cillian Murphy's just kind of like, I'm gonna just find my way out here. I'm about to head out.
I apologize.
Yeah, my apologies.
Sorry, bloke.
Just give him the most chimney sweep accent.
Sorry, bloke.
Just we're straight up Dick Van Dyke and fucking Mary Poppins. Hello, Miss Poppins. You know.
But no, so, like, hive mind stuff kind of freaks me out. And I guess that, you know, I'm going about that. But what about you? What you been thinking about?
Pulling pud.
That's what we live by.
Yeah.
It's our motto.
We live by the pud, we die by the pud.
We live for the pole, we die by the pud.
No. No, we live for the pud, we die. No. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we live for the pole, we die by the...
Die by the pud, we die by the cum, you know?
Yeah.
Just jerking off so hard it kills you.
Yeah, it just puts you down for life.
Face. It's better to come in the sink than sink in the cum.
So what if you can see? Yeah, what have I been thinking about? I don't actually
What
know.
you been thinking about?
I don't know, man.
We've been playing, still been fucking it up
Just
on
been
Lethal
playing
Company.
a lot of Lethal Company. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't had like a new fixation. I kind of have like a weekly fixation. I haven't this week.
Honestly, I've just been so busy with work still.
You know what I've been thinking about? My Spotify Wrapped.
Yeah.
Because I've been listening to Spotify's DJ.
Yeah, you're no longer Bo Burnham's top 2.
Yeah, I am. I'm in his top 2. I'm no longer his top 0.5%.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah, those are rookie numbers. Got to pump those numbers up.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I want to pull up your Wrapped. Do you want to compare Wrappeds?
Let's compare our rap.
So what's the first one? This year you're listening to Took You Places. What's that? What it?
And mine, let's see.
And One Place listened just like you. Let's see. Burlington, USA listened just like me.
Mine was Fort Collins, USA.
All right. And then I played 1,006 songs. And there was one that really connected. I love this for us.
I played 2,277 songs.
Okay. And what was the one that's set for you?
You Know What I Mean by Yacht Club. I played that 46 times since February 26th.
The one that connected for me that I played the most was the remix version of the fucking He-Man. And he prays. What's going on by the Four Non Blondes?
What's up?
Yeah, What's Up by the Four Non Blondes? Except it's the He-Man version from because we had gone to see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and that plays while they're in the car.
Yeah,
and that just made me like, oh, that's all I gotta hear that shit now. So for some reason, that's the song I played the most. And then it says you had room in your heart for more than one favorite.
Mm-hmm. You romantic, you. Okay, I'll do my top songs. You Know What I Mean by Yacht Club, Alien Blues by Wunderbar, Heart to Heart by Mako DeMarco. Oh, that's such a good fucking song. Juju Woman by Labyrinth and Hell and Back by Bakar.
All right. Mine, hold on to your hat here. It's going to surprise you.
There we go.
My top songs were, as we said, the remix of What's Up. The Future by Bo Burnham is number 2. Content by Bo Burnham is number 3. 1985 is number 4, which surprised me. I thought that'd be higher. And then Look Who's Inside Again was number 5. Well, look who's
We're going to get
inside
copyrighted
again.
hard.
No, we're not.
I've listened to 25,318 minutes worth of music, which is 17 days nonstop.
I listened to 11,143 minutes, which is 7 days nonstop. I peaked on July 23rd at 573 minutes. I was in the top 30% of listeners worldwide.
I peaked on March 14th at 886 minutes.
I listened to 492 artists, but one came out on top.
Listened to 1,527 artists.
My top was Bo Burnham.
My top was the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah, I was the top 3% of their fan.
Yeah, I was in the top 2%, which is we talked about. I don't know if we talked about it last year, but I was in the top 0.5% of Bo Burnham listeners last year.
You dropped.
Yeah, so I got to get those numbers back up.
Yeah, you're slipping.
Yep. Slipping Jimmy.
Yeah, then it just says here. My other ones were, so the Chili Peppers, Young Gravy, Kanye West, Mac DeMarco, Kenny Lamar.
Mine were Bo Burnham, Phoebe Bridgers, James and the Shame, Noah Kahan, and Taylor Swift, which that one surprises me because Morgan and I have separate Spotify accounts now, and I don't really listen to Taylor. She's got like a couple songs that I like.
Sure.
But not enough that I would expect her to be in my top 5. So I wonder if Morgan was maybe I think our Alexa is connected to my Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if she was in the bedroom, it was like, hey, Alexa, play Taylor Swift.
Pulling up on yours.
Yeah. But, no, so I've been thinking about, like, just trying to listen to more music because I'm mostly a podcast listener. Mm-hmm. And so I'm, like, trying to kind of expand my horizons via, like, the suggestions where it's like, if you like this, then you might like this. And that's been a pretty successful way for me to expand my horizons without just like somebody else telling me what they like and then me going, yeah, but that's not what I like. Because I am very much I like what I like and I'll stick to it.
That's how I am.
And so I try to expand my horizons.
Yeah. I need to get back into Sir Chloe.
Yeah.
She, like, rocks my fucking... That's my breakup, teen angst, kind of music. And, like, that shit just... It's my little alt girl
Yeah.
band. And, like...
I know, dude, I'm an alt girl.
Yeah, like, I eat that shit up.
Like, I've told you, my TikTok will even be like, if you got this video, and it'll like be one of those with no tags or anything, and it's just the algorithm giving it to you. It's like, if you got this shit, you're a fucking blue-haired, liberal, screaming lesbian. And I'm like, just a fat brunette dude who's straight. And I'm just like, what does this mean? What? You know what I mean? What is this?
I don't get it.
I guess what does this mean? I guess culturally, I get along with, I would be pegged into that pigeonhole, you know? But yeah, I always get a giggle out of that. That like, because it's also happened several times that it's like, yeah, you're a lesbian, and I'm like, I mean, in a way, yeah.
I mean, like women,
yeah, but my music tastes also reflect that. I mean, it's like you like Bo Burnham and Phoebe Bridgers, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Have you ever listened to Mac DeMarco?
Not by name, I mean potentially, but
I'll send you a couple of his songs. The song that Heart to Heart, which is on there, is about...
I thought you were about to start singing it. Because you were like, it's song that is heart to heart. It's you like cleared your throat, and I was like, oh no.
He's putting on a whole concert.
He's going in.
No, it's about a kind of reconnecting with a really long lost friend, or like a lover, even. But it doesn't like specify.
Yeah, it could. It's love, but not necessarily romantic. Right. Love.
And like, it just talks about like, throughout the distance and stuff like that, I may not have been there then, but I'm here now. Yeah. And so let's have that heart to heart.
Right, yeah.
And like, beautiful song. Yeah, right. And very cool. I'll send it to you for you to listen to and to open up your horizons. Yeah. Because it's still like alt shit, so maybe it'd be right up your alley.
Yeah, just fucking send back. Mid.
Yeah, I listen to a bunch of sad shit. That is just my genre. Yeah. I just feel a deeper level of connection with music.
I'm a sad indie girl. But thank you people so much for listening to this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give it a big 5-star review on iTunes and like and favorite and all that good stuff.
Whatever you got to do.
Yep. Do. And then make sure that you're liking, following, and subscribing on your audio streaming service of choice. That way you get notified when we post our new episodes every Monday. We shoot for 8 a.m., but we can't guarantee that.
Wednesday.
What did I say?
Monday.
Every Monday? Today's Monday. Every Wednesday. Wednesday at 8 a.m. Don't you fucking show up on Monday. I won't be there.
Don't fuck my nut.
If you fuck with my nut, Brennan, Randy here's going to eat your dick.
Like Kobayashi. Is that even legal? Is it a national law? It was a national law. They couldn't prosecute him.
But I saw it. I witnessed it. No. Wednesdays at 8 a.m. Can't guarantee the 8 a.m. thing, but Wednesdays we're pretty good at.
Yeah. We've only missed one 8 a.m.?
Yeah, well, we've missed a few 8 a.m.s. We've missed one Wednesday. But all of that to say, if you guys got to see Godzilla, tell us what you thought about it. If you haven't seen Godzilla, go see it and then tell us what you thought about it.
I'm going to go see it again, I think.
If you're excited for Godzilla Cross Kong, tell us about it. Tell us why you are.
Tell us why you're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you're allowed to be wrong. Everybody's opinion is valid. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one they all smell, Yep.
Monarch is another one I really want to watch.
Yep.
Start getting on that.
How would they get in touch with us, Chris?
Yeah, you can always reach out to us, take a look at our socials. Our Instagram, Facebook, YouTube is Simply One Podcast. Our Twitter handle is Whelmed_Simply. Or as always, you can leave us, a nice message, little email, little dope pic.
Death threat. I always like a death threat.
Send us just a picture of your bleached asshole at simplyoneMailbag@gmail.com.
Don't send us your asshole. Because I can't verify from an asshole pic how old someone is.
It's just your dad.
I'd know that hemorrhoid anywhere. That's my dad.
Like father, like son.
It's like when they call you in to ID a body. That is just he's ass up. And I'm like, yeah, that's my dad. He's got the vaccination pock mark from the 60s when they had to vaccinate people with smallpox and they just get you a fucking blister. He's got that on his ass cheek, and by golly, I know that hemorrhoid like a fucking back of my hand. We'll miss him.
Yeah. Looks like the shape of Iowa.
Yeah.
Just got that long part.
He's got a hemorrhoid
Let me
shaped
get it
like
the long way.
the long way. He's got a hemorrhoid shaped like Michigan with the upper part too, the UP.
It's a mitten.
Yeah, it's the mitten, and then it's also got the disconnect of the UP there, the Upper Peninsula. Anyways, I don't even know if that's the Upper Peninsula, but I assume it is. Anyways.
People call it the butt crack. We call it the upper peninsula.
The Upper Peninsula.
Peninsula.
Easy.
Placenta.
No, the Upper Placenta. Yeah, you gave it a shot. So, next week,
Napoleon.
The Game Awards,
Yes.
and very potentially, The Boy and the Heron. Yeah, my man.
Stop.
That comes out on Friday.
I do,
Bob.
and I mean this, don't take any offense to this. I think I might want to go watch that by myself.
That's good, because I don't want to fucking go see it with you.
All right.
You know what? I also want you to see that by yourself, because you'll be insufferable.
No, I don't know, man. Studio Ghibli is just my favorite, and like I just want to.
And you think I'd ruin that shit for you?
Yeah, kind of.
All right.
No, I don't. But I do just want to be alone in that sense.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. We won't even do it for the podcast. We'll watch something else. You can watch it on your own, and it won't be tainted by having to think about it.
I do. What you been thinking about? So I did go see the boy that. Anyways,
yeah. Where's the cryptid?
Yeah. Shit.
Fuck, man. Now, so who knows? Definitely the Game Awards will be out. I'm excited to see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Because, Starfield didn't get nominated for anything but RPG.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it's not going to get that between Baldur's Gate.
Yeah. And then it's getting the Game Awards is putting out like the Player's Voice Award, where it's strictly fan voted.
Mm-hmm.
And like the top 5, I thought it was very confirming. The top 5 that they're voting on right now is because they did it kind of bracket style. Here's 30 games, thin it down to your top 10, or I think your top 15, and then your top 10, and now your top 5, and now just what's your favorite out of these 5.
Yep.
It's remarkably similar to the Game Awards, or the Game of the Year
Starfield's
nominees.
not in it.
No, Starfield got knocked out like in the first round, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, sorry guys, like
It just wasn't that
it
great.
wasn't what it was supposed to be or could have been.
Yep.
But no, so I'm interested to see how that pans out, as well as we'll get a
I'm
bunch
little
of
bummed that Jedi Survivor's not as deep.
Yeah,
in
not
there.
getting more
I
recognition.
really enjoyed that
think
game, but I think it came out right at that weird point where it was so long ago.
Yeah,
The newer games kind of like swamped it and
It's
like
that-
kind of brushed it away.
Yeah, and unfortunately, some heat came out at the end of the year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, sorry about it, but like, and also, I mean, it was a really good game, but I don't know if it was a game of the year.
I don't think it's a game of the year.
Yeah, and so I think that's a hard one there. But yeah, so that'll be exciting to see what like announcements we get from that too.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, maybe we'll go see a movie or to pair up with it.
That'll be something. Or we could both. I mean, because I know Morgan said she wanted to see it too. I mean, if you guys go see it, I can go see it, and then we can just intertwine and either restart Game of Thrones or watch House of Dragon.
Yeah, we could do. We could talk about.
And we could do quite literally just do Boy and the Heron is what you've been thinking about. We kind of give our
quick little thoughts. Yeah, I'm not opposed to that. Or I mean, we've both finished Loki and the first half of Invincible.
Yes, I have finished Loki and Invincible. I banged that out.
Yeah,
both of them in one day.
Yeah, and I finished Invincible. So, I mean, yeah, we got options. Yeah.
What'd you think, bro?
Yeah.
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 What?
Yeah.
What? And like we just gotta wait.
Yeah.
Like
luckily not long. Like February.
Just until February. But still, I was like,
yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't mention that Grand Theft Auto isn't coming out until 2025.
Yeah. Which we estimated like it would probably be 2025.
I said it's not going to be next year.
Mm-mm.
Tough. But
I hope somebody leaks the game. Like and people can just
Yeah, I hope that they leak that you're just able to play it
for free.
Yeah,
just gone.
Yeah. Anyways, well, I think that's the end of the episode, Chris. Tell everybody bye.
Catch you on the flip.